Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Story on the cover.
Welcome to Rogers Center on a beautiful Monday night, the fourth and final game of this series against Tampa Bay. Last game Tampa Bay will play at Rogers Center this year. Ricky Romero leads his team out of the dugout, anxious to stop a team 4-game losing streak. And Ricky Romero is the right guy to do that. He has won his last 5 decisions. Now it's time for the Tampa Bay lineup. The starting lineups are brought to you by TD Canada Trust. Banking can be this comfortable. Tampa Bay has had their hitting shoes on throughout this series. Desmond Jennings with 3 home runs in the series. He's gone 6 for 13 and driven in 5. Johnny Damon just 1 for 11 against the Jays in the 3 games. Evan Longoria, Ben Zobrist, Casey Kochman. B.J. Upton had a big 3-run home run, but he hasn't had an awful lot of impact in this series outside of that home run. Matt Joyce had 2 doubles in the 9th inning in yesterday's game. John Jaso and Sean Rodriguez, he hit one of 3 home runs yesterday that Tampa Bay connected off Brandon Morrow.
Tonight's starting pitcher is brought to you by Icy Hot. With Icy Hot, pain is under control. Romero has made 26 starts this year. The team is 14-12 in his starts, and having scored just 24 runs for Romero in his 12 losses. You mentioned the 5 straight decisions. Since the All-Star break, I don't know if there's been anybody better in the American League. He's made 8 starts. He's won 5 of them. He lost his first one coming out of the break to the Yankees. Had a couple of no decisions, and the whole key for him again is the fastball, and you got the changeup, the curveball. When he's throwing that over, he's tough. His 278 earned run average, 4th in the American League. The scouting report is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Heart and passion. That's what you get with Ricky Romero. He's driven to succeed. He's emotional. He really wants this one. Key for him also is to stay in your lanes. No drifting. He's been better this year, making sure everything goes towards home plate. And he's got a lot of put-away pitches. He's got the curveball that he can use for strikeouts. He's got the changeup. He can use those for his strikeouts. And when you look at Romero, 150 strikeouts, that's pretty impressive.
Ricky Romero truly has gotten command of his fastball, and that has helped him string together 5 straight W's. Jake Bierencevia flashes aside. We are ready for action, and Ricky Romero misses down and in with the first pitch to Desmond Jennings. Yesterday, Jennings hit the first pitch of the ball game out of the ballpark. First of 2 home runs he would hit against Brandon Morrow.
Said he didn't want to fall behind Brandon Morrow, right-handed pitcher to a right-handed batter. Didn't want to fall behind, look for that first pitch fastball. Got it and didn't miss it.
That's that cut fastball that sailed off the plate inside. It's 3-0. Jennings had his first 4-hit game of his career yesterday. Went 4 for 5 with a pair of homers. A 4-pitch walk that starts the game. Romero's been very good with his command over this hot streak, and he hasn't walked many batters. He's been very aggressive in the strike zone. And now he'll face Johnny Damon, a left-handed hitter that's given Romero a lot of trouble over his career. 7 for 17 for Damon against Ricky Romero.
Giving a lot of people trouble. A couple of things that you can worry about now if you're the Blue Jays. Lots of speed at first base in Jennings, and a guy who can handle the bat in Damon.
Damon shows bunt. Johnny Damon in the series we mentioned, he struggled just 1 for 11 in the series. You can see Blue Jays have handled him very well over the last 5 games, and they have struck him out 7 times. That's why he's looking down to Tom Foley. He said, give me that bunt again.
He had caught Brett Laurie very deep at third base. If he had gotten that ball down, he might have been able to beat it out.
There you see Laurie still a step behind the bag at third. Damon lays off that inside pitch and ball on the string. Damon's hit lefties pretty well. .263 average this season. Long look down at Tom Foley. This team is raised where they'll run, they'll bunt, they'll do anything. Any inning, any time. Doesn't make any difference.
They might be the best in baseball at using what they have.
There's a drive toward right. This ball is gone. Johnny Damon, his 12th home run of the season, and he jumps on that pitch and lined it over the fence in right.
If you are looking for a pitch on the inner half, especially left-handed pitcher versus a left-handed batter with a runner at first base, go ahead and get the head out and try and pull it. Play first and third. Well, they're going to do better than that. He pulls this pitch down and in, and we've seen Johnny Damon do this for years and years. Get the head of the bat out, stay on top of that ball, and he doesn't miss it. Line drive to right field. Home run number 13. Excuse me, 12.
Romero bounces that one in the dirt. Johnny Damon, we mentioned he was just 1 for 11 in the series, but already he has staked Tampa Bay to a 2-0 lead.
Tampa has looked very comfortable swinging the bats in this series. 12 runs in yesterday's game.
They've hit .306 in the first 3 games of this series, and they've hit over .300 with runners in scoring position. The ball is lined into the seats foul. Back in April on Saturday afternoon, Johnny Damon hit a 2-run home run off Brandon Morrow in the first inning. Tampa Bay would go on to win that game 6-4. It was a situation where Damon was at the plate. Sam Fuld had walked and moved to second on a pass ball, and Damon was trying to advance him over to third and knocked it right out of the ballpark.
I think he was trying to do the same thing. I think he was looking for a pitch where he could try and pull it into right field with Adam Lind holding the runner at first base. He knows he's going to get a fastball because there's a lot of speed at first base with Jennings. It's just a professional hitter.
2-2. JP, Aaron Sevia couldn't hold on to that foul tip. It hit in his glove, but never really had control of it. Longoria stays alive. This one's popped up. Dwayne Wise calls for it, the center fielder. Longoria is retired.
Take a look at the rest of the defense that will play behind Ricky Romero here tonight. Thames, Wise, and Bautista in the outfield. You know, Escobar, Kelly Johnson getting used to each other. The double play combination in the middle of the diamond. Brett Laurie's been great at third base since he's been called up. Adam Lind the same way over on the other corner. Jake Aaron Sevia, Ricky Romero forming the battery.
Ben Zobrist takes a strike. Adam Lynn back at first base this evening. Zobrist had a fine season. 280 average, 74 driven in. He also leads the majors with 43 doubles. Fouls it back. 0-2. Johnny Damon, we mentioned Damon. What a fine career. He's one of 5 major leaguers to play at least 140 games for 15 consecutive seasons. The other 4, how about Hank Aaron, Brooks Robinson, Pete Rose, and Willie Mays? Consistency in an upper echelon.
He doesn't get injured. He's in great shape. We saw him running around this afternoon playing football out on the Rogers Center field around 2:30, 3 o'clock today, just running around like he was a little kid. He's in great shape.
And he's always carrying that emotion right into the game. He has a lot of fun. He really fits in here. And Joe Madden loves to have that veteran presence. And Johnny Damon was brought in along with Manny Ramirez. It's the start of the season. Of course, Manny ran into problems off the field, eventually retired. And Johnny Damon really took advantage of that. Cut on and miss. There's that cut fastball Ramirez hits so effectively of late.
He's got the weapons to get a lot of strikeouts when his curveball's working, when his changeup working, and now the cut fastball. When that's working, he can get it underneath the bat of those right-handed hitters. That's exactly where you want to throw it. Right there. Not much a hitter can do with that pitch.
2 outs. Casey Kochman, the first baseman. This is Romero's 9th start against Tampa Bay. Kochman saw the shift in third baseman Brett Lorry deep, so he squared around to bunt. There you see the offense pulled around to the pull side of the diamond. Lorry deep at third. 2-0. Kochman's had some season. He has hit .323 overall and has a .314 average against lefties. That ball running right out of the strike zone.
Ricky Romero's fighting himself right now, trying to throw the ball a little bit too hard. This is, you've talked to John Farrell about Ricky Romero and how he has gotten better this year at backing off at times when he's just like this. Throw the ball just a little bit slower. Slow your body down. Don't rush yourself towards home plate. And when he has done that, for the most part, he's been very good. But he's an emotional type of hitter. He's got a lot of passion for the game.
3-1. Fouled out of play.
He knows what's at stake. He knows that, he's looked upon as the #1 guy and the guy to stop losing streaks. You could tell he is excited about tonight's game. Just look at his eyes. His body language tells a lot.
He needs to stop the losing streak, and he needs to pitch deep into the game. Bouncing ball past Escobar off his glove into left field. It's a base hit for Kochman, and it comes with 2 outs. Escobar was shaded up the middle. They expect Kochman to pull the ball, and he went against the defense and gets himself a hit.
Escobar with the dive at that, still working with his glove off of his hand, kind of moving around like he jammed something.
B.J. Upton. B.J. Upton had the decisive 3-run home run on Saturday in the 7th inning off Jesse Litch. Blue Jays would come back, but they fell a run short, losing 6-5. Romero's out in front, 0-2. There's a lot of speculation B.J. Upton might not be in uniform tonight. He has been claimed on waivers, but obviously he's still here. The waiver deadline has come and passed, and the Rays, if they had any interest, didn't work out a deal.
Indians were thought to be one of the clubs that might have claimed him. Chicago White Sox, another one. Those are the kind of things that we never find out.
A lot of people speculate on who would put in a claim, but Chicago 6 back of Detroit. Indians 6.5 in the Central. There's a ball into right. Bautista backs up initially. Now he Camps under it, makes the catch. Ricky Romero gets out of the first, but a 2-run home run by Johnny Damon has put Tampa Bay out in front. They come to the plate. Their game under 500, 66 and 67. Escobar, Thames, Bautista top of the order. Adam Lind in premium spot tonight. Edwin Encarnacion, Kelly Johnson, and Brett Laurie. JP Arencibia, Dwayne Wise starts tonight in center field. He was not in the lineup yesterday afternoon with David Price on the mound.
Been a good month for Wade Davis in all categories except one. He has thrown 30 innings this month. He has made 4 starts, 22 strikeouts, an ERA of 3. He hasn't won yet. He's pitched some of his best ball of the whole season. They just haven't been able to score some runs for him. All in all, he's 2-2 with an ERA under 3 in 6 starts versus the Blue Jays for his career.
Yunel Escobar takes a first pitch strike from Wade Davis. Down and away, ball on the strike. You're going to see from Wade Davis what we've seen from the previous 3 starters in this series: a wide assortment of pitches, a pitcher that works very quickly, commands all of his pitches. That ball fouled right off the shoulder of the catcher, John Jaso.
That sounded like it didn't get any part of that chest protector. And that's why he's going to walk out and talk to his starting pitcher. You'll see that Davis likes to throw the fastball, keep it away, does just that. Foul ball, and it certainly did. Got it right in the bicep.
Can't put a lot of padding over that throwing shoulder. It really restricts your mobility, so you've got to live with those right off that shoulder every once in a while. John Jaso's a big dude, and he's ready to go. Little ice bag after the game, and he'll be fine.
Sounds like somebody's had that done to him before.
No time to complain. 1-2. Down and in. Davis thought he had made a good pitch. Escobar's 5 for 14 against Wade Davis. This is a little better at bat for Yunel Escobar. He's taking those borderline pitches. We have seen him chase a lot of bad pitches lately, and that's created some problems for him at the plate, and that's why he's hitting 130 over his last 13.
Check out the 14 strikeouts. A little bit anxious at the plate. That's a Yunel Escobar at bat right there.
Much better approach, and he earns the leadoff walk here in the first.
As he makes his way down to first base, let's take a look at the scouting report for big Wade Davis. He's a power player. Heavy fastball. He sinks it and cuts it. He's got a power curveball. He's got the low ERA, but he's winless. 2.99 ERA this month over his last 4 starts. No decisions in every one of them. And it must be the good room serves, because he's won 9 of his last 12 on the road for Tampa.
Eric Thames takes a pitch down and in. Blue Jays struck out 18 times yesterday. Dave Price struck out 14 hitters himself. And the bullpen came in and picked up 4 more. 18 strikeouts for the Blue Jays in a 9-inning game is a franchise high.
You know, I'd hate to see David Price when he was feeling good. He was talking after the game that while he was warming up before the game, he said he didn't feel very good. Wasn't throwing the ball, commanding it like he wanted to, and then walked the first batter of the game, but then said, okay, that's it. And then just reached back for the rest of the game.
Good take right there for Eric Thames. That's that borderline strike that looks inviting but has caused Eric some problems. He's had a little bit of a slump of late. 214 over his last 11 games, and that's been pretty universal on this Blue Jays ball club. And you look at the averages for the team during the month of August. Brett Laurie hitting over 300. Edwin Encarnacion hitting 290, and Jose Bautista 260. Everybody below that.
Bautista's had a good power month for the Blue Jays. But you're right, a lot of swing and misses, a lot of very quick at bats this month for the Blue Jays.
Bouncing ball to second. Escobar had to wait for the ball to pass, and he has forced it second. Thames safe at first on the fielder's choice.
It's a good defense that Tampa Bay throws out there. They've got a lot of interchangeable parts, guys who can play in different positions, and that just shows that they're very good athletes. They lead the American League in fielding percentage. Here's how they'll line up. Jennings, Upton, and Joyce, 3 very good outfielders with a lot of speed and good arms. Sean Rodriguez has been very impressive. He's taken over as really their #1 shortstop. Had a good day offensively yesterday. Casey Kochman can really throw the leather around, as can Evan Longoria, the Gold Glove third baseman. It's a good defense.
Defense has a lot of range. They've got good hands, and the infielders especially all throw very well. Jose Bautista looks at one upstairs. Still great numbers across the board for Bautista, although we mentioned his struggles in August. But he had a big cushion, hitting .312. Ball gets away from Jason. Thames moves up. That eliminates the opportunity of a ground ball double play.
Wade Davis has had very good command. He has had 9 walks since the All-Star break, so he's been around the plate. This is just his 4th wild pitch of the season. Big guy with good command, bounces that one. No chance for Jaso to get over there and block it.
Yeah, Jaso tried the backhand, and he was set up on the inside corner. Davis missed all the way down and away and handcuffed Jaso. 2-0. And come back two-seamer. Starts off the plate and ran back over the outer half.
He's got good stuff, Wade Davis, and I think he's just breaking the surface of where he can go as a pitcher. He's young. He was a 3rd-round draft pick just a few years ago. This is just his 2nd year in the big leagues.
2-2. Wade Davis comes out of Florida. In fact, he grew up in the same town as former Blue Jays catcher Pat Borders, Lake Wales, Florida. He was headed to Florida State, but Tampa Bay drafted him in the 3rd round, and he chose to sign 2004. Thames moves up, heads up base running. He gets to 3rd base with less than 2 outs. He anticipated and reacted very quickly.
Second wild pitch of the inning for Wade Davis. You are that runner out at second base, and you can see that ball. You can look right in at the catcher, and you see him struggle just a little bit on a ball like that. You can move up. Look at that. It's just 1 step out onto the turf. But if you're alert and you're ready, you can make it easily without a throw.
Full count, 1 out. Down and in. Bautista takes the walk. Second walk of the inning. Davis having trouble with his control. 2 walks and 2 wild pitches here in the first.
And his control again has been so good since the All-Star break this whole month.
Adam Lind anxious to do some damage. It has been a tough month for Lind. He got hit on the wrist by Gio Gonzalez out in Oakland, right on the point of that wrist bone, and that's had to have an impact on his swing. Bouncing ball. Zobrist goes to second. Back to first in time. What a double play. Zobrist went to his left. We talked about good hands and good arms. Zobrist got it to Sean Rodriguez, who has a cannon for an arm, and that double play saves a run. Lind hits it to Zobrist. Over to Rodriguez. Bautista does everything he can, but Tampa Bay turns it. Learning how to turn the double play, but he gets a little assist right here.
Yeah, watch where he catches the ball. You hear about the neighborhood play? Well, he was in the other county when he was catching that one. Not even close at second base. Blue Jays should have a run.
Yep, they sure should. And I didn't notice the turn as much as I was watching the play at first, but in looking at that replay, he was nowhere near second when he caught that ball. Matt Joyce hitting just .225 against lefties. He's had a good series. He's gone 5 for 10 in the series.
He had a couple of good at-bats in the 9th inning yesterday. His last couple of bats versus the left-handed pitcher. Stayed right in there and got a couple of base hits.
Drives this one to left field. Thames backs up a couple of steps and hauls it in.
Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
One down in the second. Johnny Damon has put Tampa Bay out in front. A 2-run home run, his 12th of the season in the first inning. John Jaso. Romero's got a lot of life on his fastball, and it's not quite in the neighborhood of David Price's fastball, but the movement is equally effective. Price sinks and explodes a little bit harder, but Romero's cuts and sails away from left-handed hitters very effectively.
Cuts, sails, sinks. He's got a better curveball, I think. It's a good one. That pitch looked like it had a chance to be a strike right there, but it's called a ball back. Home plate umpire Marty Foster. He's got a good changeup too.
Got an excellent changeup.
Might have to start throwing it a little bit here against these Ray hitters.
Three and one out. There's a strike. I mentioned Tampa Bay. They have won the first 3 games of this series, and they haven't hit much as a team. That's an overmatch right there. There's that moving fastball from Ricky Romero. Threw it down and in and tied up Jaso.
The way Jaso went after that one, he thought it was a strike, then he thought it was a ball, and then he thought it was a strike again. And that talks about how that ball's moving constantly from Romero. Emergency. The ball is by him.
Just trying to foul it off. Turn to the umpire and ask if it was a strike. Sean Rodriguez, 284 against left-handed pitching this year with 3 home runs.
One of the things I talked to Derek Shelton today, the hitting coach for the Tampa Bay Rays, he had a leg kick, and they've tried to quiet him down at home plate, spread him out just a little bit more, use his hands instead of having that exaggerated leg kick. And so far, it's worked for him.
The leg kick creates so many timing issues, and Derek Shelton, sitting there with Matt Joyce on the Tampa Bay bench, is always concerned about timing. And if you have a leg kick and you can consistently get it down, get your hands in a good spot, yeah, it's fine. But boy, if you're in between, you've got to eliminate it.
Yeah, you start seeing those emergency hacks, balls fouling off to the right side. You can see the 2-strike approach and how quiet he is at the plate now.
Ricky Romero, full count, 2 outs. And off speed and missed down and away. Walks Sean Rodriguez. That'll turn the lineup over and get the right-hander Desmond Jennings to the plate.
Yeah, and that hurts. After you're 0-2 to the number 9 hitter, you fall away 4 straight pitches outside the strike zone and turn the lineup over. Rodriguez can steal a base too.
Snap throw. Rodriguez dives back in ahead of the tag. Rodriguez 10 for 16 in steals. And they love the way he aggressively runs the bases. Going first to third, and Joe Madden was asked about Rodriguez being thrown out at third base, once on a steal, once on an error by the pitcher. Casey Jansen threw one down the right field line. Bautista threw out Rodriguez and said, hey, I love his aggressiveness. Now he's got a big lead. Aaron Sebia throws low.
He's got a very big lead over there at first base. Ricky Romero does a good job of holding runners on. It's only given up 5 stolen bases all season long. Been tough sledding for Romero. Career versus the American League East. He pitches well against the Orioles. The Rays, he has a winning record, a good ERA. The Yankees and Red Sox have just given him trouble.
He's had a great game against the Yankees. He hasn't had much luck at all against the Red Sox. His ERA over 8 for his career. And last time at Fenway Park, they frustrated him. Couldn't figure out what they were doing to give them so much success against him.
It was almost like they knew what was coming. If you remember that game at Fenway Park.
Romero's already thrown 47 pitches. That's an alarming total when your bullpen has been overworked lately. This should end the inning. Bautista jogs over toward the foul line. Jennings is retired. 2-out walk doesn't create any problems for Ricky Romero. Now the Jays Bucks got to figure out Wade Davis. Amazing prizes from Sharp, including Canada's largest LCD TV, the 70-inch Sharp Aquos. Enter online at hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp makes bigger, better. Edwin Encarnacion has a home run in this series. That came on Saturday afternoon in the 8th inning. Ball on a strike. Encarnacion had been one of the hottest hitters after the All-Star break until his last 9 games, and that's when the Blue Jays really started to run into problems. That ball is ripped, but it's well fouled.
Purpose pitch there. Something soft on the inner half where Eddie E could get the head out. Trying to speed his bat up.
You saw his numbers for those 9 games. The team numbers are very similar. The Blue Jays as a team have hit 178 over their last 9 games. And that started in Oakland. And lost 2 out of 3 to Oakland. Ball is driven to right. Matt Joyce, just on the warning track, gets down in the corner and makes the catch.
You know,
1 out.
What's alarming about all of the numbers that we have seen over the last 9 games, so you're talking about Oakland and Kansas, the strikeouts from the offensive team.
94 strikeouts in 9 games. That's a lot of strikeouts.
And this from a team that, you know, in June, May and June, did you say this is a team that's going to strike out a lot? I never would think that.
But there's been a lot of changes to the makeup of this lineup, and Kelly Johnson is one of the newcomers. 2 for 13 since he's joined the ball club. Johnson had a rough night last night. Yesterday afternoon, he had a 4 strikeout game. Blue Jays as a team struck out 18 times. Stays with that breaking ball, but lines it right to the left fielder, Desmond Jennings. 2 outs. When we talk about the broken bats, and they have been mounting lately with the strikeouts recently, and you take a look at the last 9 games that we mentioned, they've scored just 2.4 runs per game, only 5.7 hits per game, and then the strikeouts we were talking about.
They're hitting their share of home runs, but the average hasn't been there, and the runners in scoring position is 7 for 47. They'll figure it out. It goes, comes and goes.
Cyclical. Sure is, but it's been a long cycle in August. Brett Laurie, he hasn't had many problems. Laurie came up early in August, and he is hitting .338. Mini 5-game hit streak. Look at the triples, home runs. He's doing a lot of damage.
Watching now these teams as they have seen Brett Laurie now for a little bit. There's a scouting report. There's video on him if they're trying to do something different to him. He can handle the breaking ball. There's no question about that. We've seen that. He can handle the fastball. And he's been getting himself into very good hitters counts with his patience at the plate.
Another hitter count here, 3-1. It's jammed and fights it off, and that's going to get down for a hit. Brett Laurie muscled it into center field. Davis ran that ball in on the label, and he gets the first hit against Wade Davis.
You get yourself into a good hitter's count, you're going to give yourself a chance. Fastball, again, it's got heavy sinking action. That one's right in on the hands of Brett Laurie. Doesn't break his bat, but he just muscles the ball into center field for a base hit. First one for the Jays tonight.
Catcher J.P. Arancibia. 2 outs. Takes a first pitch strike. Aaron Sevilla among the league leaders in strikeouts. He has 111 strikeouts. But with those strikeouts, you get some pop. He's got 20 home runs and he's driven in 62.
As his career goes along the next couple of years, I think you'll still see the power there because he's a very powerful young man with a good home run swing. I think you'll start to see those strikeouts start to come down as his knowledge gets a little bit better around the league, what pitchers are trying to do to him. He's had a lot on his plate this whole season.
Very difficult position to break into in the big leagues, catcher. You've got to learn your pitchers first and foremost. Then you have to learn yourself defensively. Those are the first qualities that managers want to see behind the plate, and then you can worry about your hitting.
20 home runs, that's an accomplishment. And I asked him about that the other day, and he says it's not that big of a deal. I expect to hit a home runs.
Gets a piece of that breaking ball.
He has hit home runs everywhere he has played.
I'll take the production from a catcher. First I want the defense, then I'll take production. I don't care about the average. You don't want a catcher getting on a lot, and he's not going to run anyway.
You can live with that. You want the home runs and the RBIs.
0-2. There goes Laurie. Ball down in the dirt, and the appeal at first, no swing. So Brett Laurie will be credited with a stolen base, his second.
I think we'll see more of that from Brett Laurie. He is an excellent base runner with very good speed. Picked a good pitch to run on. Looked like a breaking ball. Takes a quick peek in towards home plate, make sure where the ball is, and puts up the stolen base.
Davis comes back with a curveball and strikes out Aaron Sevilla to strand Laurie at second. First strikeout of the game for Wade Davis comes on a good curveball down and away to Aaron Sevilla. NHL draft picks: Greg Nemes, Justin Falk, Zach Kasian, and John Moore. Welcome to Rogers Center, and congratulations on the draft, and good luck in the upcoming season. It won't be long, and you'll be back on the ice. Lots of buzz around Toronto. The NHL PA is in town. And a little showcase for their young players.
Those guys are out here today taking some batting practice with J.P. Sevilla and Brett Laurie. Saw some pretty weak hats today.
If they would have rolled it to them, they would have hit it. I know they would have hit it.
Yeah. If they used a split grip on the bat.
Pretty talented, and that's obviously an exciting time for them in their careers. On the verge of starting out in the NHL. Ball on a strike to Johnny Damon, down and away. Damon with a 2-run home run. got an inside fastball. His second career home run against Ricky Romero. Pops this one up left side, and Brett Bory calls for it. Damon's retired. First out of the third inning. We've talked about Ricky Romero and his great hot streak, and John Farrell believes that his success is directly related to his fastball command, whether it's a straight fastball or the cutter. Do you see an area where you think Romero can really grow and become even more dominant?
I think if he throws his fastball with a little bit more regularity, and a little bit more consistency around the plate, I think you have to get hitters thinking about hitting that fastball first and foremost, because his off-speed stuff is so good. And then you can become unpredictable if you can use that fastball for strike at any time. We've talked about this I don't know how many times, but the best pitch is a well-placed fastball. You do that and you put that in the hitter's mind, you open up so many possibilities with your off-speed stuff.
Plus, when you throw so many strikes with your fastball, you put a hitter in a swing mentality where he's thinking, I got to swing because he's going to throw me another strike.
If there's an improvement area for Ricky, is a little bit more consistency of doing that. And we have seen that this year. You know, don't get me wrong, he has made huge strides, I think, this year as a pitcher, and he had a good year last year. I think he's that much better this year. To get to the next level, I think that's the step he has to take.
3-1 to Longoria. High drive left field. Dwayne Wise on the run, looking up. This ball is dropped. Looked like Wise had it. Longoria stopped at second. He thought it was out of the ballpark, and he'll end up with a sliding triple. Looked like Dwayne Wise got to it. Longoria thought it was out of the ballpark.
Wow, what a play. Swinging high, breaking ball, and he crushes it to left center field. Dwayne Wise made a catch in Mark Burley's complete game, perfect game, just like this, where he came up with it, but it looked like it rolled down his arm. He jumps for it, bangs it against the wall, and that's why it disappeared just a little bit between the wall and his body. First triple of the season for Longoria. He almost came up with the catch of the year.
Sure did, and he had a bead on it, but you could see he just kind of reached up for it, and it was off to the side of his glove. Then Zobrist, they got Longoria hung up. Romero throws it to Laurie. Laurie with the throw to Arancibia. So that's a big base running mistake right there by Longoria.
He somewhat helped himself out by staying in the rundown long enough to get Zobrist into scoring position, but you're right. Nobody one out runner at third base. A comebacker, you got to make sure it gets by the mound. He comes off just a little bit too far. Ricky Romero is a very good fielding pitcher. Hey, Romero, you have to get that runner running aggressively back to the base where you came from. And at the second there, it looked like Romero has it, but then slowed down and just lobbed the ball to Laurie, and that allowed Zobrist to get into scoring position.
Yeah, if Romero continues to run toward third, Zobrist won't be able to advance. But it looked like Tampa Bay, it looked like Longoria came off and stopped on contact and then decided to break. I don't know if the contact play was on or not. It may have been on because Kochman's a left-handed hitter behind Zobrist. But now Zobrist at second with 2 outs. Ricky Romero still can't command that fastball, running down and away more often than not.
It's like he's starting to spin out of his windup just a little bit. His finish, we were talking in the scouting report about staying in your lanes, no drifting towards third base.
That was a better delivery and the desired results. Ricky has a great idea of what he wants to do. It's just a matter of getting in that timing and rhythm of his delivery. He knows what works. 2-2, 2 outs. Little bouncer that Aaron Sebia grabs. Watch Longoria react on contact.
Yeah, I think it was the contact play, and unfortunately for them, it goes right back to the pitcher. But he makes up for it a little bit by staying in a rundown to get Fred Zobrist to second base, the guy who hit the ball. Ideally, you'd like to have one throw between your infielders and a tag, and Zobrist is still over at first base.
Well, Joe Madden had talked about he's going to gamble a lot on the bases, especially with a 2-0 lead. There's another tapper, and Romero misses it. He just flat out missed it. He reached for it, and it was under his glove. Kochman's at first. It's an error on Romero.
Normally he is a very good fielder. This one right back to him and just missed it. You're right. It wasn't a short hop. Maybe in his haste to catch the ball, spin and throw, takes his eye off of it. But it will be an error.
And it's a big error as it brings B.J. Upton to the plate with 2 outs. He bounces it to third. Laurie on the run makes a good play. Upton can run. Laurie unloaded in a hurry, so Ricky pitches around a triple and an error. Still 2-0 Tampa Bay. TBA plateau. Curtis Granderson with 107. Adrian Gonzalez for the Red Sox 103. And now Mark Teixeira picks up his 100th in his hometown in Baltimore.
Robinson Cano right behind him. He is sitting at 95. That would be 3 Yankee batters with 100 RBIs, and it's not even September.
Curtis Granderson with the big game in Game 2 last night went 3 for 5, hit a pair of home runs and drove in 4. So he has taken the home run lead in the American League. He has 38, 1 over Jose Bautista. Dwayne Wise in center field. Wise was picked up on a waiver claim. Hobie Rasmus was DL. They needed a center fielder. Wise strikes out. That's another good curveball from Wade Davis. Second strikeout in a row.
He's got a good one, so you got to make him get it up and get it in the strike zone. Watch the depth and how quick it breaks straight down. Second strikeout in a row for Wade Davis.
Colby Rasmus has that wrist injury, and he's on the disabled list. Still getting in his workout. He's not able to swing a bat yet, but hopefully by the end of the 15 days he will be able to get back into some sort of baseball activity.
Those are tricky little things, and it all points to him being able to come back on September the 8th. That's when his 15 days are up. But it's tough to keep that wrist area strong without hurting the ligaments that you've damaged. It's like a sprained ankle when you've got a wrist injury the way Colby Rasmus has. Hurt it about a week ago.
Ran into a fence in center field here and then aggravated it on a dive in the alley in right center. There's a base hit right back over the mound. Escobar's aboard for a second time tonight.
That's Unell's game right there. Take that ball right back through the middle. At times he was getting long and his back shoulder was dropping just a little bit. He was uppercutting. This is his game when he sends pitches right back up the middle.
He had a good at bat his first time up and walked. Took some close pitches. Worked Wade Davis for the leadoff walk. Eric Thames hit into a fielder's choice back in the first inning. Blue Jay base runners are going to have to be aware that Davis is bouncing that breaking ball. He's already thrown 2 wild pitches tonight. They came in the same at bat, and Thames took advantage. He advanced from first to second and then second to third on a pair of wild pitches, and Escobar's got to be aware at first.
He's bounced that curveball a couple of times already this inning.
Thames is doing a better job of laying off that high fastball, even when he's got the count in his favor. Early on, we saw him chase a lot of those pitches just because he had a hitter count.
One of the things that he has learned at this level this year is how to watch tape and how to break down tape of his at-bats and what pitchers are trying to do to him. Some of the veteran hitters have helped him to do that.
Has a drive to right. Joyce will look up. It's off the wall. Escobar's around second. He's headed to third. Here's the throw to second base. Thames is in there with a slide. His 16th double of the season comes with 1 out here in the third.
And what that does, watching tapes, maybe you can pick up on some patterns. And one of the patterns that he has picked up from the Rays is they'll challenge him with fastballs. Hit a home run off of Jake McGee the other day, and now gets another inside fastball, this time from Wade Davis, and he turns on it. Hits it about halfway up the fence in right field. Matt Joyce with 8 outfield assists comes up throwing.
So the table is set for Jose Bautista. He walked against Davis in the first. Nothing Tampa Bay. Blue Jays threatening right here in the third. Escobar at third, Thames at second. That was fouled at the plate. That's why Escobar was confident to grab it there in the third.
And he was standing in foul ground to make sure. The defense, we saw a quick shot of that, how the Tampa Bay Rays employed 3 infielders on the left side of the infield. It's the only team that I can recall in the American League that will use this type of defense against Bautista.
We have seen it consistently all year long. Joe Maddon will always really exaggerate the defense if he believes that he has a pattern on a particular hitter. Plus, he trusts his pitchers to pitch to their game plan. That's an effective pitch we have seen the Rays starters use all series long. And there's nothing wrong with it. You just straighten up the hitter just to keep them from diving over that outside half.
James Shields used it the other day against Jose Bautista, brushed him off the plate with that fastball, then came back with a breaking ball.
That's exactly what he did. You can't fall into that pattern of coming up and in and then down and away. With a breaking ball, hitters will pick up on it. Shields used it very effectively. Just enough to straighten up the hitters, move their head and eyes, and then go down and away. He can come back inside twice in a row.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And you got to figure at some point Jose is going to get that same scenario that you were just talking about.
Bautista is 0 for his last 7 with runners in scoring position. Breaking ball. He stayed on that pitch, but hooks it into the seats. Well, that was a good swing. That was a good breaking ball, and he never gave in. Just stayed right with it.
He didn't give ground. The front shoulder stayed in there. The front side stayed in there. Tampa Bay is another team that uses that 2-strike front door breaking ball to Bautista. They stay right with that one.
2-2. Buries that slider in the dirt. Bautista is such a good RBI guy. This stretch over his last 7 at-bats with runners in scoring position is a surprise, not because he's 0 for 7, but because he struck out 6 times. He generally puts the ball in play. If he does that right here, he's going to get at least 1 run in.
Yeah, just get it in the middle of the diamond past the pitcher, and you've got an RBI.
Puts that one in play. Zobrist in front of the shortstop, throws out Bautista, but the Jays are on the board as Escobar comes in to score. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Cut that lead in half by situational baseball. They got the big hit after the double by Thames to set up that inning for Jose. They have a good 2-strike approach. You don't want to strike out there or get jammed or pop something up, so he shortened it up, kept the ball in the middle of the diamond, and got the RBI.
The mindset in that situation, first and foremost, is I've got to get at least one of these guys in. And Bautista delivered. Now Lynn will try to deliver with 2 outs. Thames at third. I'm sure Brian Butterfield, the third base coach, has reminded Thames about the possibility of a ball in the dirt. We have seen several of them early on, both the curveball and the slider.
And Eric was the base runner last time he was up, where he advanced from second and then to third on a wild pitch.
Davis has got a good curveball. We talked about the starting pitchers for Tampa Bay. They all throw 4 pitches. They might not throw them as frequently as one another, but they all have them. They have the capability of throwing 4 pitches. Fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. Jeff Neiman pitched on Saturday afternoon. This is popped back over the Blue Jays dugout.
And Wade Davis is a little bit of cross between Jeff Neiman and James Shields. James Shields has a very good curveball and a changeup. Davis has a very good curveball. His fastball is a little bit better than Shields. More in line with Jeff Neiman, the right-hander that we saw. He's a power pitcher with a good breaking ball. Then you have Jeremy Hellickson, who's got an outstanding changeup. A lot of variety when you face those starters.
1-2. Up and away. You see the velocity. Davis saved a little extra for that pitch. It was 96, but up and away. Pitching coach Jim Hickey with David Price. There's a drive toward right center. This is hit in time. This is gone. Two-run home run for Adam Lind.
He had an RBI chance his first time up and hit into a double play, and I think he wanted to get some payback, and he does. Fastball down and in, and watch how short he is to the ball. Head down, short swing, and this ball is driven to right field. On a line and over and out.
Blue Jays lead 3-2. You're right. Lynn had an RBI situation his first time up and hit into an inning-ending double play. He made up for that with one swing of the bat. Home run number 23, RBI 74 and 75 for Lynn. Tampa Bay, winners of the first 3 games of this 4-game series. They've never swept the Blue Jays in a 4-game series, and the Blue Jays haven't been swept at home in a 4-game series since June of 2003. Bounced up the middle. Sean Rodriguez behind the bag. Throws Encarnacion out, but the Blue Jays take the lead. The big men do it. Jose Bautista with an RBI ground out. Adam Lind with a 2-run home run. Escobar gets it going with a single. Thames doubles off the wall in right, and a 2-run home run capper by Adam Lind.
Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Ricky Romero has been staked to a 1-run lead as we are set for the 4th inning. Matt Joyce, right fielder. 7-8-9 for Tampa Bay here in the 4th. This is popped up outside of first. Lynn over at the wall, leans in, but it's back into the seats. Lynn's 23rd home run of the season came with 2 outs in the 3rd. Bautista had an RBI on the ground out, and then Lynn capped it off. Curveball missed. 2 balls and a strike. Matt Joyce, 27 years old, made his first All-Star team this year. Went 1 for 2 in the All-Star game. There's that cut fastball in the perfect spot. Joyce was acquired by Tampa Bay in a trade with the Detroit Tigers for Edwin Jackson, a right-handed pitcher. Big bouncing ball to Kelly Johnson.
Ricky Romero, I think, just keeps getting better and better every single year. If you go back and look at his numbers, in 2009 he won 13 games, but his ERA was about 4.5 and his WHIP was 1.5. Last year he won 14 games, shaved that ERA down and the WHIP down, and then this year the same thing. He has taken a run off of his earned run average from last year.
That's quite an accomplishment because the hitters now are very familiar with Ricky Romero. He's making his 88th start here tonight. So they've got a big book on him. They know what he's trying to do, but he has to counteract their adjustments, and he's done it very effectively.
Yeah, when he just lays back, takes his time, slows the game down, and makes pitches, it's very effective. You see him slapping on that back leg like that, telling himself to stay over that rubber just a little bit longer.
Outside of first. I think the one thing that you can see with Ricky Romero is a steady, smooth improvement. Just kind of a steady climb toward the top. He has improved on all of his numbers. His strikeout to walks ratio has gone up. His walks to 9 innings has gone down. And there's a ball looped over Escobar's head into center. Jaso's aboard.
A couple of years ago, when he would find himself in trouble, I don't think he knew how to get himself out of it. What his best pitch was, what his best pitch was working that day, how to set up hitters. This ball is over the head of Escobar for the 4th hit, first one for Jaso tonight. That's where I think I've seen the greatest improvement in Romero. I mean, you're going to give up base runners, you're going to walk guys, you're going to give up hits. Can you keep them off the board? And he's done that.
Yeah, and it's all about controlling your emotions and thinking your way through tough situations and not trying to muscle your way through them. Ricky Romero has always been the star player wherever he's played, and oftentimes he could just muscle his way through a lineup. High school, college, it was not a concern. Then he got into pro ball, and it's an adjustment. You went through the same thing when you get in there and you're playing with guys just as good as you are when you were used to being the star wherever you played.
You can get away with a lot of mistakes when you are that much more talented than your opponent. But when everybody's good, you got to be smart, and you've got to refine your skills just a little bit.
Then you got to use the people around you as well, people that have experience like the coaches. Bruce Walton and Pat Henkin. Manager John Farrell has been a pitching coach. Bounce toward third. Laurie backs up. Good strike throw to Kelly Johnson. Back to first. Not in time. Well, Johnson did a good job. Laurie gave him a good feed from third, and Johnson made a quick pivot, but Rodriguez outran the relay.
One part of the defense that has been better. Good feed from Laurie. Good strong throw. It looked like Kelly Johnson had just a little bit of trouble getting the ball out of his glove, and that allowed Rodriguez to beat it out just a little bit. But a lot stronger arm. Quicker release at second base.
First pitch strike to Desmond Jennings. Jennings walked and scored ahead of Johnny Damon's home run. It was in the first inning. Inside again. Aaron Sebia caught 3 base stealers here on Saturday. His best game as a big league catcher. First time he had caught more than 1 base stealer in a single game. Bounce to third. Laurie has to come quickly and throws to Jennings. But Laurie got rid of it in a hurry. Ricky Romero takes advantage of that 1-run lead. Has an easy inning in the 4th. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp Aquos makes bigger, better. Certainly have some home run hitters coming to the plate in this inning. Kelly Johnson, Brett Lawrie, J.P. Arancibia. Johnson hit 18 home runs before he left the Diamondbacks. Had 26 a year ago. Plays off that high fastball. Tough midseason trade to get acclimated to your new team, come into a new league and try to get things going, especially late in the season.
Yeah, how about changing leagues too?
Yep. New team, new league, new pitchers. And you know what? The pitchers are making their 26th, 27th start. They're in midseason form. You're trying to play catch up without much information.
And the advantage for me is always with the pitcher. When a batter does not know anything about a pitcher, advantage goes to that guy out on the hill.
1-2. Curveball ripped into center field. B.J. Upton will lay back and play it on a hop. Kelly Johnson with a leadoff single here in the fourth. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Luke Hochevar, the pitcher for the Royals in that ball game. Johnny Giovitello, the second baseman, also with a pair of hits. He's driven in 3 runs. Kansas City's got some pretty impressive young offensive players.
I want to see where Kansas City is in about 2 or 3 years. If they get some pitching, they certainly have the defense and the offensive players. That will be an interesting team to watch the next couple of years.
Mike Moustakas had his 11-game hit streak snapped with 11 straight games of multi-hit games. He was 1 for 4, so his hit streak is still alive. But during that 11 games, he went 19 for 39. He's a young third baseman, just 22 years old. Brett Lawrie tried to bunt his first time. Breaking ball hit toward third. That's a fair ball. Longoria unloads in a hurry in time to get Lawrie. But Lawrie moves Johnson up to second.
I see so many similarities between Evan Longoria and the young third baseman Brett Lawrie. They're both very good athletes. They go about their job just a little bit differently. Longoria is smooth and laid back and doesn't seem like he's rushed with everything. Lawrie is an athlete, very intense when he is out there, but they both are very good baseball players.
J.P. Arancibia takes a curveball. I'm going to date myself when I say this, but Brett Lawrie plays at 78 RPMs and Evan Longoria plays at 33 1/3. But they still get the job done. And all the kids out there going, what's he talking about?
I knew where you were. I know what you're talking about, and I can't even think of a way to like tell.
The old records, that's the speed of the records. The long playing albums were 33 1/3. The little 45s were 45 RPMs, and the 78s.
How about dial up and broadband? Is that a little bit closer?
A little closer. They still don't know what I'm talking about. But they play differently.
They're both good. They arrive at the same spot, but they get there in a different way.
Yes. Okay, I'll tell you one. Evan Longoria's 3G. Brett Lawrie's 4G. There's a drive down the left field. Arancibia's hit one off the base of the wall. Here comes Kelly Johnson in to score. The throw to second is offline. Kelly Johnson scores. Arancibia drives in another. He has 63 ribbies with the double.
That's how you pick up runners at second base. Yeah, shorten up the swing. You hit the breaking ball down into the corner. That's a good approach right there by J.P. Arancibia. He knows that that's going to get down over the head of Desmond Jennings. Johnson scores easily, and J.P. Arancibia just trades places with him.
I think doubles are more pressurizing than home runs. Pitcher continues to work out of the stretch. Wise has a chance to pick up an RBI. a home run. Pitcher clears the bases, and he's pitching out of the windup again.
Yeah, clears his mind just a little bit and says, okay, that's that. Let's get back into it. But this is the same situation he had when he was facing J.P. AT TOR. Runner in scoring position. A base hit's going to mean another run.
In that Blue Jays dugout, they're all thinking, keep the line moving. Base hit right here, keep the pressure on Wade Davis. Blue Jays lead at 4-2. One out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. There's a strike. Evens the count at 2-2. Dwayne Wise played 49 games for the Marlins. He was an extra player. Had just 67 at bats. Fouls that one off. Wise was designated for assignment on August 24th. Blue Jays picked him up on the 26th. Obviously had a need.
He's going to help. He can steal you a base. He'll give you good at bats. He'll make the pitcher work. Can run. Play defense. He almost came up with that catch earlier in the game. That would have been the highlight reel tonight.
Staying alive. Got a piece of that 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Dwayne Wise came to the big leagues in 2000 with the Blue Jays. Got into 28 games, had just 22 at bats. Big bouncing ball towards second. Sobris has it. Aaron Sevia moves to third on the out. J.P. Aaron Sevia delivering an RBI. We mentioned his 63rd ribby. He's third on the team in that department. And that's the aspect of his season that's so encouraging, his run production.
Just a rookie. Mark Trumbo's had a good year offensively for rookies. Big first baseman for the Los Angeles Angels. J.P. Aaron Sevia right there with him, though.
Guillermo Escobar. Single and walked. Escobar looks much different tonight. Looks like he's picking up the ball much better, taking some borderline pitches. Rips that one into left field. He picks up the RBI. Two-out base hit as Aaron Sevia comes in to score. It's 5-2 Blue Jays.
Starting pitcher's best friend right there, the two-out RBI single. That puts another run on the board. He walked his first time up, single to center, and now turns on this inside fastball from Wade Davis. You're right. He's quiet at the plate and exploding towards that baseball. Not a lot of movement tonight from Guillermo Escobar at the plate.
Eric Thames. Dwayne Murphy a little concerned over the recent hitting problems of the ball club. This feels like a lot of the hitters are worried about everything but the pitcher. Just kind of wanted to remind him, hey, let's focus on the pitcher. See if we can't put together some good at bats. There's another good at bat. That's bounced into center field. Escobar goes first to third. Thames has his second hit of the night. The Blue Jays have 8 hits.
Good at bat again for Thames. He's been on 3 times tonight. Doubled his last time. You know, Dwayne Murphy likes what he sees tonight from the offense. Very short, Swing stays right through that baseball. Bangs it right back through the middle. He's got a couple of knocks.
Escobar's been on base 3 times. Thames has reached 3 times. And Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, out to talk with Wade Davis. Davis has pitched well against the Blue Jays in the past. His 6 career starts, he's got a 2.93 ERA.
A good whip at 1.2. Opponent batting average of 239. He's had 5 runs to work with when pitching against the Blue Jays. Tonight, he just hasn't been able to command his fastball.
You know, Tampa Bay, they have 4 right-handers and left-hander in their rotation, but they're all a little bit different. Certainly, Davis pitching behind David Price, there shouldn't be any concerns about patterns developing. Now he is facing Jose Bautista with runners at first and third and 2 outs.
Yep, the pitchers that have given him trouble this year, the Blue Jay batters from the Rays, are the pitchers who have a good changeup. Hellickson and Shields. Forget about yesterday, Price. He's got a good changeup. Yesterday he was just in another league. But those two, Wade Davis hasn't shown that ability to throw a good changeup.
Thames was thinking about second base, but with 2 outs, you've got to make sure. Certainly don't want to get thrown out with Bautista at the plate.
And a 2-0 count, too. He is looking for one thing right here. Fastball down and in, and see if he can turn on.
Too far in. Runners in scoring position reflects just how tough pitchers pitch Bautista, even with 2 outs. He's hitting .219 in these situations. 3-0. Green light. He didn't even look at Brian Butterfield before stepping into the box.
He didn't want to see the take sign. And I'm sure they weren't going to give it to him.
No, that's a good time. Let him hit. Jose picked up his 84th RBI in the 3rd inning on a ground ball. Breaking ball just caught the inside corner, kind of backed up. Right-hander Brandon Gomes starting to loosen up. Davis has thrown 91 pitches. Blue Jays have worked him over. Full count, 2 outs. Thames at first will be off on the pitch. Escobar will hold his ground at third. A hit Bautista in the wrist. He'll go to first and the bases will be loaded. The bases are loaded. We're only a grand slam away from awarding a 70-inch Sharp Aquas Quadron TV. To enter, visit hitahomerun.sharp.ca. Now Joe Madden has come out to talk with Marty Foster, the home plate umpire, and we've had 3 of these now in this series.
Balls that sound like they got hit. Sometimes off the bat, you can see from this one, it looked like it. Well, we'll see. On the inner half from there, it looked like it
hit the bat.
Hit the bat.
Yep. Casey Kochman had one just like this yesterday. And Bautista, quick thinking, starts to shake out that hand and go, man, that hurt.
You know, when it happened in real time, it looked like it hit him in the wrist or the elbow.
Well, Tampa Bay was victimized by this with Derek Jeter and the Yankees, and it cost them a game where Jeter got hit on the knob of the bat, started shaking his hand. Lind is already homered tonight.
Fastball down and in from Lynn, and watch how he gets the bat through. Keeps the head down, and the ballpark's not going to hold him. He's had a couple of grand slams this year.
Glenn has hit 2, Aaron Seavey has hit 1, and Brett Lawrie's hit 1. 3 career grand slams for the Blue Jays first baseman. 5-2 Blue Jays, and they could kick the door wide open here. Breaking ball right to Zobrist. Then hit it hard, but right at the second baseman. The Blue Jays will strand the bases loaded. But they add 2 more, and after 4, they have a 5-2 lead over Tampa Bay. Time now for a connected update. Here's Jamie and Greg live in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio here at Rogers Center. Subscribe now at sportsnet.ca/magazine. Great articles, great writing, and great photography available in Sportsnet Magazine, coming out September 29th. Johnny Damon takes the first pitch strike. Damon went deep in the first, his 12th home run of the season.
Been a very even year for Johnny Damon when it comes to his splits versus the lefties and versus the righties. 263 against both of them. Here's the home run back in the first inning. Down and in. Drop the barrel of the bat on the ball. Line drive to right field. Good things are going to happen.
Johnny Damon's going to have an opportunity to play next year, no matter whether it's in Tampa Bay or not. But he is just one of those guys. If timing is right, he's going to fit with a pennant contending ball club. He drives this ball to right, and he has just gone deep for a second time. Johnny Damon, a solo home run, his second of the night. That's the third Rays hitter in this series that's hit 2 home runs in a game. Longoria, Jennings, and now Damon.
Still has that back speed to get it through. This time they wanted to go away, and it's in the middle of the plate. And Damon doesn't miss that one too often. They've held him down for the most part in this series coming into this game. Well, we have seen Damon do that before.
Boy, he uses that bottom hand very effectively, and that bat stays in the hitting zone a long time.
I like how he gets his lower half moving, and that really helps him get that bat through quickly. It's from an open stance and really exaggerates closing it.
Well, he's a big man too. You don't really realize it until you get up next to him, and then big barrel-chested, strong arms, and you're right, he keeps himself in great shape, and that's why he's able to stay on the field.
DHing has been really good to him, very kind to him this year. That will prolong his career and help him get the 3,000 hits.
Evan Longoria tripled his last time up, and he was caught in a rundown between third and home, tagged out by J.P. Aaron Seavey. And this time he takes a walk. So a home run and a walk, and Ricky Romero doesn't like the start of this inning. So he gets a quick visit from JP Arencibia. Arencibia and Romero have come through the minors together. They've worked a lot together. They work as a battery. Most of the times Romero starts, and they have a tradition of having breakfast on Romero's start days. They can talk about the game and get their heads together early. Zobrist, one hop to Kelly Johnson, flips to Escobar. Beautiful. Kelly Johnson, you know, Escobar, they did that for the Braves, and now they get together and turn a nifty double play.
Ball was hit hard, so Johnson has to catch it and give a little bit of time to make sure Escobar can get to the bag. You have to have quick feet, quick hands to play shortstop when a play like this happens. Here's the flip, the runner, and the ball meet at the same time. Escobar does a good job of avoiding Evan Longoria. Nifty 4-6-3 double play.
Well, that's huge in the middle of the order. 2 outs, Casey Kochman. Kochman singled and reached on an error. Fly ball. Medium center field. Wise is there. Tampa Bay gets one back. Evan Longoria walked, but he was doubled up. Wade Davis will come back to the bottom of the 50. Trails by 2. In the Winnipeg Honda Super Camp at Shaw Park. Participants received first-class baseball instruction from former Blue Jays. Instructors included Jesse Barfield, Homer Bush, Roberto Alomar, Sandy Alomar, Dwayne Ward, and Darren Hall. The Toronto Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada. I want to congratulate Dwayne Ward for his part in putting this together and really being the push behind it. They've had a great summer of camps all across Canada, and Dwayne Ward deserves a lot of credit for getting it done.
Very busy all summer long. He's got a lot of passion for what he's doing as the backbone of that. All the guys did a great job.
Certainly having a Hall of Famer like Robbie Alomar validates your efforts. This is popped up. It's playable down the right side. Casey Kochman, a long run. But it's beyond his reach. Looked like he got a piece of it. Wasn't really sure where he was in relationship to that barrier down the right side.
That'll give Edwin Encarnacion another crack at that pitch. There's Kochman. That's a first baseman, ladies and gentlemen, with that type of range all the way down the right field line. Remember where he's setting up with Encarnacion. He's pulled towards second base.
There's a slider, that front door slider, and Encarnacion couldn't pull the trigger.
Just the third strikeout tonight for Wade Davis. His last time out, he threw 9 innings against Detroit. Complete game, threw 102 pitches. This pitch coming up is number 100.
Kelly Johnson gets jammed, and that ball is going to fall. Fair ball. Johnson around second. He's headed for third. Matt Joyce dove for it. It went off the end of his glove and bounced into foul ground. Kelly Johnson ends up with a triple.
A well-placed ball. Blew down the right field line. It looked like it got in on him a little bit, and when Matt Joyce goes to catch it, kicks it back towards the infield. And when all said and done, that ball ended up going about 120 feet by the time they run it down, and it'll go as a triple. This one ricocheted off the wall in right field, came all the way back in towards the infield.
6th triple of the season for Kelly Johnson. Brett Lawrie with the infield drawn in. Blue Jays trying to get that run back that Johnny Damon picked up with a home run.
Or any time against this team, the Tampa Bay Rays, and their ability to come back, you have a chance to score a run from third base in less than 2 outs. You have to do it.
Breaking ball, and Jaso got a piece of it, and it looked like it got more of him than he wanted. He's had a rough night. That might have got him around the neck.
Got a foul tip off his shoulder bicep area early in this ball game that set him down for a little bit. That time that ball bounced.
Jaso's hurting. Not sure where he got hit, but now the umpire's going to give him a little more time. He said, "I'm okay, let's go." Marty Foster was ready to wipe the dirt off home plate.
Curveball in the dirt. Got him right around the throat.
2-1, 1 out. High breaking ball, 3-1. Brandon Gomes is standing by ready in the bullpen. Went too far. Full count. It's a big run down to third. Kelly Johnson with the triple. Stays alive. Fought that good fastball off. Brett Lawrie has really taken advantage of his opportunity in the big league. Among rookies since his major league debut, he's 3rd in average, 3rd in hits, 1st in extra base hits, 2nd in RBI, and 1st in OPS.
He has had some good at bats. Really grinded down the pitcher.
This is all about protecting the zone now.
Showing some maturity at the plate. What the pitchers are trying to do to him.
Lawrie had the presence of mind to call time. He was waiting in the batter's box, and then as Davis took a little bit too long, he asked for time. Well, what an at bat. For a young hitter to be able to lay off that pitch when there's an RBI just 90 feet away is pretty good patience.
And that might cost Wade Davis that good at bat by Brett Lawrie. Here comes Joe Madden. He's already signaled he wants the reliever.
So Wade Davis will be knocked out of this game in the 5th inning. It'll be Brandon Gomes, the side armor, when we come back to Rogers Center. In yesterday's game, he threw 22 pitches, and we're here in the 5th inning with just 1 out. So Joe Madden thinks it's important to get Gomes in here now, see if he can't get a ground ball double play and get out of the inning
or get a strikeout. This is something that Joe Madden hasn't had to do too many times this year, is go to his bullpen early in the ball game. Just 4 1/3 innings for Davis. His bullpen is deep. They've got a lot of strike throwers.
J.P. Arancibia. First pitch swinging, drills it into center field. Kelly Johnson jogs in. Arancibia picks up his 2nd RBI of the night. First pitch swinging against Gomes.
That's why I think he's going to hit for a higher average. The more experience he gains, the longer he is in the league. It's a good approach. He's got plate coverage on that pitch down and away. Doesn't try and do too much with it. Stays back and just hits it in the center field for an RBI single. I don't think he's a 210, 212 hitter.
No. I think with all of the work he's had to put in behind the plate, it's taken away from his approach at the plate. But he's been productive. Dwayne Wise 0 for 2 so far. Blue Jays have gotten back that run. And 2. Mentioned Gomes with 22 pitches in yesterday's game, probably on just trying to get out of this inning. As Joe Madden, he's got fresh arms, as Pat mentioned. The bullpen hasn't had a lot of work lately because the starters have been so good. Fouled into the glove of Jaso. Wise strikes out for a 2nd time tonight.
Starters had a consecutive streak in this series snap for Tampa, where they threw at least 7 innings. Certainly makes the job a lot easier for the manager. Wade Davis is the 2nd starter not to go 7 innings.
J.P. Howell, the left-hander, is throwing. Interesting time for a meeting here with Jim Hickey. They got 1st and 2nd, 2 outs. Leon Escobar is the scheduled batter. Mentioned Gomes came into the game in the 8th inning. Gave up a single to Escobar to center. So he should have an idea what he wants to do. Hickey wanted to make sure. 2 outs now. Escobar's had a perfect night at the plate. (6-3) Blue Jays. There they go. Jaso's throw to second. Not in time. Aaron Sebia, the trail runner, picks up his first steal. As Brett Laurie got a walking lead off second, Aaron Sebia followed his lead and steals it.
His first attempt also at a stolen base. Look at the jump that Laurie gets at second base, and Jaso does the smart thing. Try to get that trail runner. He has a little bit bigger lead as Aaron Sebia, and he's got to pay attention. If that guy goes, you can move up, and he certainly did right there.
Escobar grounds to Longoria. Stays down on, and the Blue Jays strand a pair, but they score another run. They have taken a 3-run lead after 5 innings for Ricky Romero. Usual to see a Rays starter lead before the 7th, but tonight the Blue Jays got to him.
Second shortest outing of the season for Wade Davis. We mentioned just the 4 in the 3rd inning, 9 hits, 6 earned runs. It took him 108 pitches to get through tonight. Just didn't have his command that he usually had. A lot of balls, curveballs that were bounced in front of home plate. He didn't throw his fastball where he wanted to. So he will finish up. It's been a great August for him.
Just hasn't been able to pick up the W's. He's pitched well. And tonight he's on the hook for a loss. B.J. Upton will start things off against Ricky Romero. Romero has given up a pair of home runs to Johnny Damon, but he's got a 3-run lead. Upton's 0 for 2. Fly out and the ground out. Rips that ball all the way down into the corner. Upton cruises around to second base. A leadoff double here in the 6th.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
B.J. Upton with a leadoff double. His 17th of the season.
This team just keeps coming after you. This is the 4th game in this series. And the Blue Jay pitchers have had 4 1-2-3 innings. This whole series against Tampa. They just find a way to get on base and to start rallies.
And we talked about it at the start of the series. When you look at the lineup and you look at the batting average and you say, wow, Rodriguez 212, Kelly Shoppach 177, L.A. Johnson 180, Reed Brignac 192, and they just figure out a way to score runs.
Yeah, they figure out that pitcher. They make life tough on them. They make them throw a lot of pitches.
Escobar looks at third and goes to first. He throws out Joyce. You know what? It might have been a shot at third base, but Escobar said, you know what? I better get it out here.
Yeah. You don't want to have that tying run come up and nobody out. You got to take the sure out. They might have to change how they defend the left-handed batters. Kochman and Joyce, they're playing them to pull against Ricky Romero. That's twice now that the lefties have sliced the ball the other way.
Yeah, and you have to go both what you see. But you can see the lefties are staying on Ricky Romero and they're going the other way.
Ryan Butterfield in charge of the infield, and he gives the infielders a lot of leeway. You know, tell me what you see and then defend that way.
Well, they certainly have a lot of information on Tampa Bay. Last time Ricky Romero faced Tampa Bay, 8 innings of one-hit ball. That was a home run, so there wasn't a whole lot to go on. But tonight the lefties are staying on him pretty effectively. We have seen Joe Madden keep the left-handers in the lineup to negate the impact of Romero's changeup. And he will be proactive in that regard. He says, you know what, what's Ricky Romero's best pitch? It's changeup. But now Romero has evolved the cut fastball, and he can use it down and away to lefties, up and into righties, and the breaking ball and the changeup still are effective.
Lefties are hitting 73 points higher against Ricky Romero than the right-handers.
Joe Madden is a combination of new age manager and old school manager. I mean, he wants you to come out, have a good time, play. He doesn't have a lot of rules, but he will implement stats and does it very effectively in my mind.
Thinks outside the box, thinks situations, tries to put his club in a good spot in the ball game to be successful. He doesn't miss a lot.
Well, he was in a great situation with the Angels as a bench coach. You see, Jaso takes the walk. Joe Madden knows what the goal is, and that's to win. You saw the Angels put that together, and then he was able to incorporate that here with Tampa Bay.
He pays attention during the game. He's always looking around and watching, trying to pick up things from the other team and see where he can get an advantage as Jesse Litch picks up a baseball and starts to get loose very quickly.
Well, Pat, you mentioned the pitch count early for Ricky Romero jumped, and now it's up to 104. And we're in the 6th inning, so Blue Jays are going to need some work out of the pen. In case you missed it, Will Ledesma was designated for assignment after the game yesterday afternoon. Brian Talent, the former Blue Jay that was picked up in the deal with the Cardinals along with Colby Rasmus, has rejoined the club after a rehab assignment. And he is active and ready to pitch tonight. Sean Rodriguez, first and third, one out. There's Brian Talent. Looks right at home in that Blue Jays bullpen. Lowry, Johnson, Lynn, double play. Sean Rodriguez hit it right on the button, but right to the third baseman, who calmly turned the 5-4-3 double play. Kelly Johnson with a good pivot at second. Romero gets out of it. Jennings rips it right to Brett Laurie, who throws to second for one, back to first to get Romero out of that tough situation.
Watch how he stays down Laurie, and then you don't think he likes playing baseball? Thank you very much. Inning-ending double play.
He's one of those guys on the field. You just get a sense that he's saying, hit it to me, hit it to me. J.P. Howell, the third Rays pitcher of the night, comes in to start the sixth inning. Just his 34th game of the season. Howell started the season on the DL, still trying to get up to speed.
Yeah, that was a left shoulder injury that he had. He sat out all of last season and then began the year on the DL with that left shoulder strain. 605 days between major league appearances for J.P. Howell. He's on a roll right now. They're just 1 for 18 against them in the month of August.
First pitch strike. Howell now 28 years old. He was picked up by Tampa Bay in a trade with Kansas City back in June of 2006. He had a lot to do with the Rays' success in 2008. Thames hits it hard, but Zobrist is there. First out of the sixth. Jose Bautista picked up his 84th RBI back in the third inning. Bounced foul. Why they play him to pull, and with the left-hander, maybe even more exaggerated to the left side of the diamond.
Challenge him, pitch him inside. Or they're going to throw soft stuff to see if he could try and hit that ball right into the shift.
Changeup. 0-2. Forget about this, folks. Number 38. No doubter. Bautista has tied Curtis Granderson for the major league lead in home runs, number 38.
Just watch it and enjoy. 0-2. Right down Broadway, and no one's going to look at that one. They all know where it's going to land. The left fielder, Desmond Jennings, didn't even move.
Little insurance for the Jays. A 4-run lead. Adam Lynn has homered in this game. Bautista now with 85 ribbies. Pulled foul, back out of play into the seats. Well, the Blue Jays, 7 runs on 11 hits. And you just knew somebody was going to eventually pay. They got shut out 12-0 on just 5 hits yesterday. There's a good curveball. Lynn strikes out. 2 down.
Blue Jays have been doing that all season long. When they get a good pitched game against them, they have that ability, and they've come back the next day and have a good showing. Tonight, so far, so good. 7 runs, 11 hits.
Edwin Encarnacion takes a curveball strike. Blue Jays coming into this game tonight, we're hitting .228 in the month of August. That's last in the majors. And that's certainly their strength, the bats. But it has been a tough month, and there's another ball drilled. Jennings has got the speed to get over and cut it off. Encarnacion made a bid for a double, but Jennings ran it down in the gap in left center.
J.P. Howell did not fool Edwin Encarnacion with that off-speed pitch. That was a frozen rope to left field.
12 hits for the Jays. Kelly Johnson. Kelly's had a couple of hits tonight, including a little bloop triple down the right field line. He scored twice. Coming into this game, Kansas City and Toronto were tied for 22nd in runs scored in the month of August. Just 105 runs. Blue Jays were 54 runs behind the Yankees before start of play tonight. That's for the month. That's a ton of runs.
22nd in all of baseball.
22nd in all of baseball in runs scored.
You know, they've been hitting their share of home runs this month. They just haven't been hitting with runners in scoring position or putting hits together, putting big innings together.
Eric Thames has a couple of hits. J.P. Aronsebian a double and a single, pair of RBI. There goes Encarnacion. The throw to second is high and wide. Fifth for Encarnacion. He is 5 for 6 in steals.
You know, if you're not going to hold him on, why not take a shot and just go on first movement? Casey Kochman is not holding him on. J.P. Howell goes into his stretch towards home plate, and then Encarnacion just steals it.
2-2, 2 outs. John Jaso got a break. That ball hit the umpire's shin guard and stayed right there at home plate. "12 hits tonight for the Blue Jays, the most hits they have amassed since August 16th, when they had 15 hits at Seattle. So it's been quite a drought. And yeah, they've run into some tough pitching, but the Blue Jays have hit tough pitching before. They've just gone through a tough stretch. Breaking ball pulled foul. Kelly Johnson hit a breaking ball to the opposite field off Wade Davis in the fourth. And he's got good opposite field power. That should allow him to stay on J.P. Howell's curveball,
which is a good one. And it's a pitch that he will use to get a lot of strikeouts, especially against the left-handed batters. He's also got a changeup.
Johnson takes a walk. He's been on base 3 times. That'll bring Brent Lawrie to the plate.
Better approach tonight by the Blue Jay batters. Patient at the plate.
Dwayne Murphy, we saw a few red flags the last few days about the impatience, about preoccupied hitters not focusing on the pitcher. Tonight's been a totally different story. Sometimes a hitting coach will sit his hitters down in a little private room and have a chat. Just a refresher, if you will. 2 outs. First pitch, changeup. Brent Laurie's first look at J.P. Howell.
Cedar Gaston used to talk about having a plan when you go to the plate. Tonight it looks like the Blue Jays have a plan. What they wanted to do against Wade Davis and the rest of these Tampa Bay Ray pitchers that they'll see tonight. Have an idea. Have a game plan. How you want to succeed up there.
Off-speed pitch. Howe frustrated by giving up the Bautista home run. He strikes out Laurie, gets 2 strikeouts in the inning, but gives up a long home run to Jose Bautista. A no-doubter to the 4th deck in left field, number 38 for Bautista. Jesse Litch comes out of the bullpen. He'll work the 7th. More Major League Baseball. The Cubs at the Giants. Randy Wells goes up against Tim Lincecum. San Francisco is 4 games back of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Then on Sportsnet Pacific, the Angels trying to run down the Texas Rangers will send Joel Pinheiro to the mound against Blake Bevan. Angels are 3 games back of Texas. Jesse Litch on in relief of Ricky Romero.
12th relief appearance now for Jesse Litch. 19 games overall this season, 448 earned run average. He pitched in the game the other day against the same Rays. Wildness had a couple of walks and then a home run were his undoing. But he's done a much better job out of the bullpen.
Through 23 pitches in just 2/3 of an inning. Pat mentioned he had a couple of walks. The home run, that 3-run shot to B.J. Upton. That ended his outing as Casey Jansen came on and got out of the inning. Desmond Jennings. They have quieted him down. He had his first 4-hit game of his career yesterday afternoon.
He also said it was his first multi-home run game of any level. He can't remember one. I'm sure he hit one in Little League somewhere, don't you think?
I don't know. He might have been playing football all the time. There he gets a base hit. That ball was up in the zone, and he hammers it into left. Ricky Romero, a little bit of a struggle for Romero tonight. Gave up a 2-run home run to Damon in the first. Never really got command of the strike zone. But he gives the Blue Jays 6 innings and the lead.
4 walks for Romero really pushed that pitch count up. He had 28 pitches in the first inning. It was a struggle, but pitched well enough. Gave him just 3 runs on the board. Just made a couple of mistakes to Johnny Damon.
His ball strike ratio was just about 50-50 for the night. Johnny Damon, his 13th multi-home run game of his career. He's at 2 tonight. He now has 13 home runs for the season. Mentioned Jesse Litch pitched 3 out of 4 days when he worked on Saturday. And he showed some signs that had caught up to him on Saturday. He didn't have the good command, and that's the one thing that's really been a benefit for Litch working out of the pen. He's been very effective and very efficient.
Not a lot of walks, lots of strikes, a lot of energy when he comes into the ball game. Pumping those pitches into the strike zone constantly.
3-0.
He can get the double play grounder because his ball moves so much.
Tough part of the Rays lineup. Damon takes a 4-pitch walk. First 2 reach here in the 7th. The dangerous Evan Longoria. Longoria is tied for the major league lead in home runs in August. Curtis Granderson, Dan Uggla, and Longoria all have 10 home runs. This series has been all about Tampa Bay's offense. 2 home runs in the same game in this series. Longoria Friday, Jennings Sunday, and Johnny Damon tonight.
Well, Longoria, for the month of August, you mentioned the 10 home runs that he has hit. Hits 245 for this month. He's had over 100 at bats with 25 hits, 10 of them home runs.
Tampa Bay has hit 10 home runs in this series. Desmond Jennings, pair yesterday, Damon a pair tonight. And Longoria at the plate, he's hit a pair. When you're off the plate, you don't get the borderline calls.
You're not going to get it with a hitter like this. This is not what Jesse Litch does. He comes in and he pumps it usually the other way around. It's 9 strikes and 2 balls out of the zone.
Cut fastball. Casey Jansen starting to loosen up. Jansen pitched on Saturday as well.
Either one of these pitchers can go multiple innings. Litch and then Jansen.
Foul back. Two and two, nobody out. Tampa Bay trying to scratch and claw their way back into this game. They trail by 4, but they're threatening here with nobody out in the 7th.
Jesse made a pitch the other day that was a huge pitch, getting a strikeout, and it looked like he was going right back in there. That was to Jeff Francoeur at the runner at third base with less than 2 outs in the game they beat Kansas City. He needs the big strikeout.
Had a big strikeout of Ben Zobrist on Saturday before the B.J. Upton home run. Full count. There's another strikeout. For Jesse Litch, he fought all the way back and strikes out Evan Longoria.
Tough hitter, a hot hitter. And he strikes him out. 86 miles an hour. It's that cutter. Up, and Longoria swings right through it. That is a big out.
Ben Zobrist mentioned on Saturday, Zobrist batting with 2 on and 1 out, struck out against Litch on a breaking ball down and in. Start him off away. After Zobrist struck out, B.J. Upton hit the first pitch of his at bat out of the ballpark for a 3-run home run. Well, they got a good call there. Trying to go inside. He missed all the way outside, but
Clip part of the plate. That's a lot better than 2-0. 1-1.
Again, missed his spot all the way across the plate inside this time. Jesse still doesn't look like he's recovered from those 3 outings in 4 days.
Looks like he's rushing just a little bit.
Zobrist just 1 for 7 against Litch. But he's got the count in his favor. Two and two. Rich needs a ground ball. Blue Jays have turned 2 tonight. 2 double plays so far. That's a line middle play, but that'll do the trick. Zobrist hit it right on the line to Escobar. The ball took him right to the bag, and the Blue Jays are out of the top of the 7th. This looks like it's headed into center, but the shift pays off perfectly. Escobar steps on the bag, and the Rays are retired into 7th. He comes in. He is the 4th Rays pitcher tonight. Starter Ray Davis got knocked out after 4 1/3. Gomes went 2/3. Howell pitched an inning, and now Warren Cruz on here in the 7th.
Cruz, the veteran right-hander, now 47 games for strikeout pitcher, averaging strikeout per inning. At times he runs into problems by not throwing consistent strikes. He's got a good slider, good sinking fastball. His last appearance was a couple of days ago, just 1/3 of an inning, gave up a hit and a run. Also had a walk in that outing. The run that he gave up was a home run to Edwin Encarnacion.
Big night for J.P. Arancibia. Couple of clutch hits. He's driven in 2. Little flare, and that's trouble. That's going to get down. His 3rd hit of the night, and that bounces over Joyce's head. Arancibia is around 2nd. He's headed for 3rd. Joyce has got a strong arm, but it's offline. Matt Joyce, over aggressive, had that ball bounce right over his head. Arancibia's 4th triple of the season.
You know, that's a surprise considering the Tampa Bay Rays play on artificial surface. The Blue Jays and the Rays, the only teams that can say they can do that. Yeah, he should know better. This ball bounces in front of him, then over his head. Joyce is about 6'4", so that's a big bounce. And a big break for the Blue Jays.
They actually have the same AstroTurf that's here at Rogers Center, but their field is a touch softer. Dwayne Wise swings at the breaking ball. Wise has struck out and grounded out. Struck out twice. He's 0 for 3.
Nobody out. The infield in. Blue Jays are probably going to make the ball get through.
Just off the outside corner.
So a very short lead over there at third base by J.P. Arencibia. Does not want to get doubled up on a line drive. He's only about 4 or 5 feet off the bag.
That's a tough pitch. He dropped that breaking ball on the outside corner. Cruz is a part of the revamped Rays bullpen. Breaking ball inside this time. Cruz pitched in Kansas City the last couple of seasons. He's bounced around all over the place. Started with the Cubs. Came up with the Chicago Cubs in 2001. Made 8 starts. He was a starter early in his career. Made the transition to the bullpen full time in Arizona in 2007. But he's played with the Braves, the Cubs, Oakland, Arizona, Kansas City, and now Tampa Bay.
He's closed some games. He's been a long man out of the bullpen. He has been a late inning guy, a multiple inning reliever. He can do it all.
Cruz is just 32 years old, and he's got a pretty good arm. Upstairs. Cruz went through his shoulder surgery with Kansas City last year on May 12th. But he pitched his way back to the big leagues through winter ball in the Dominican Republic. 2-2. And right back to that breaking ball outside. 1 out here in the 7th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Carlos Santana, good-looking player, and not only is he a catcher, he can play first. He's a switch hitter. He's a guy that does a lot of things that really open up your eyes.
There's a lot of energy behind that plate.
Santana's got 64 RBI. Brandon McCarthy for Oakland pitched a complete game. In 8 innings, allowed 5 hits, just 2 runs, but that was 1 too many. Yunel Escobar trying to pick up this base runner down at third. Long look down at Brian Butterfield. I wouldn't think this combination with Arencibia at third and Escobar at the plate would be the one you would expect to have a safety squeeze or a straight squeeze play bunt.
Yeah, you'd like to have a little bit more speed, or a guy who Escobar could knock him in with a base hit. He's had a good night tonight.
He's had good at-bats all night long. And it started with the leadoff walk in the first. Ball on the strike. Up the middle, Rodriguez dives for it, throws it to first, and Kochman digs it out of the dirt. Arencibia not going on contact, and even though Rodriguez dove and fell down, he was still so close to third he couldn't chance a break to the plate.
If he was running on contact, that's an RBI and it's a run. But as it is, a nice pick out of the dirt by Kochman, a nice play by Rodriguez to momentarily save the run.
So with Eric Thames coming up, Joe Madden has come off the bench. He has called for Jake McGee, the left-hander. Online and on your Rogers smartphone. Now available for all Rogers customers. Sign up today at RogersOnDemand.com. Second pitcher of the inning will come out of the bullpen. That'll be Jake McGee, the left-hander. Juan Cruz started. He got 2 outs, but he got a runner down at third base, and McGee will come in to face the left-handed hitting Eric Thames.
Fourth relief pitcher of the night for the Tampa Bay Rays, Jake McGee, the left-hander, throws hard. At times he can be wild, but he's got 18 strikeouts in just 17 and 2/3 innings. His job right now is to try and retire Eric Thames without that runner scoring from third base, a problem he had the other night.
Thames homered against McGee to lead off the 8th inning. It was the first batter of the inning, and Thames had a good at bat.
He challenged him with fastballs. At bat, watch where this one is. In. And Thames is able to get through it, and that's a no-doubter to right field. Let's see if they change up on Eric here and see if they throw him some sliders.
Ball on a strike. 97. I might be tempted to stick with that.
It's not too shabby. He's got a great arm.
Thames hits it. There's Kochman with that great glove. He beats Thames to the bag at first. McGee does his job. He strands a base runner at third. We have played 7. The Blue Jays are up by 4. 5th, that's a day game, Labor Day. It'll be a 4-game series. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, all games beginning at 7:07 p.m. Call the Blue Jays directly at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations to pick up your Jays tickets for the 4-game Boston Red Sox series coming up the first week of September. Casey Janssen out of the bullpen. Jesse Litch had a rough inning but got out of it. He got a line double play off the bat of Ben Zobrist. Now Janssen to work here in the 8th.
You know, and with a lot of changes that the Blue Jays have gone through over the last month or two, Casey Janssen has taken over as the 8th inning setup man for John Farrell's team. He's done a great job. He's thrown a lot of strikes. He has only allowed a run in 7 of his 42 appearances this year.
And here, just like Jesse Litch, he falls behind to start his inning. And that's unusual for Casey Janssen.
He got 4 outs the other night against Tampa. Gave up 3 hits but did not give up a run.
Came in the game in relief of Jesse Litch in the 7th with a man at first, and then threw wildly to first, but Bautista threw out Rodriguez trying to advance first to third. Two and two to the leadoff hitter here in the 8th. Casey Kochman, the first baseman. Well, that's been a bread and butter pitch for Janssen all year long. That little cut fastball on the outside corner.
To the left-handers, he backdoor to him. That one was just off the plate. He has used it to right-handers also.
Kochman stays alive. We are in the 8th inning. Tampa Bay took a 2-0 lead on a 2-run home run by Johnny Damon in the 1st. Blue Jays stormed back with 3 runs of their own. Bautista an RBI groundout, and Adam Lynn a 2-run home run. That was in the 3rd. Janssen, the underhand toss. Kochman's retired.
He comes in and he throws strikes, and they're quality strikes too. Keeps the ball down. Aggressive in the strike zone. That's the type of attitude that he likes to have when he's out on that mound.
You see, he was frustrated by that pitch. He overcooked that slider. B.J. Upton. Pops this one up. Third baseman Brett Lord. Janssen has 2 quick outs. Right fielder Matt Joyce with 2 outs. Joyce hit the ball hard his first time up, lined out the left fielder, but he's 0 for 3. And get ahead breaking ball for strike 1.
Not a bad idea. Put a little something in his mind as he stands up there at home plate.
Two outs. And Sevilla Janssen going to have a little chat as Matt Joyce going to get a new bat. Broke that bat.
When you throw a lot of fastballs like Casey Janssen does, and you've got that leg drive and you keep the ball down, then you start cutting the ball, you're going to get a lot of bats. And break them. That's what he did right there to Joyce. Just couldn't get the head out.
Tampa Bay came into this game trying to sweep their first ever 4-game series here at Rogers Center. They have never swept a 4-game series against the Blue Jays, home or away. But they've had a 4-game sweep this month. They swept the Royals in a 4-game series at home. That was the 10th time in club history they had a 4-game sweep. Joyce to center field. An easy play for Dwayne Wise. A 1-2-3 8th inning. Blue Jays were back in the 8th, leading by 4. Now it's time for a connected update. Here's Jamie and Greg live in the Blackberry broadcast studio here at Rogers Center. Count against J.P. Howe. Bautista dials long distance.
And nobody wants to look at it because it went so far off the 4th deck in left field. 0-2 home run for Bautista, his 38th of the season. And that's a good sign.
To give you an idea how rare that last home run was, an 0-2 pitch. Of the 92 home runs Bautista's hit over his last 2 seasons, only 2 have come on an 0-2 pitch. Thanks to Mr. Stats himself, Scott Carson. Doing his homework. Picked up that nugget for us. And if you want to find out more about Scott Carson's baseball knowledge, log on to sportsnet.ca. He's got a column there twice a week. Jake McGee's got a big arm. It'll be interesting to see how they utilize Jake McGee down the road. It may be awful tempting to put him in the rotation as well.
He was a starter in the minor leagues as he came up through the ranks. I kind of like him at the back end of the bullpen as a lefty. When he starts throwing a little bit more consistently through strikes. He reminds me of Matt Thornton. I was talking about that the other night of the Chicago White Sox. And that guy always, for left-handers, has high strikeout totals out of that bullpen.
Jake McGee, as you mentioned, had been a starter, 129 career starts in his 140 minor league appearances. And I like that, no matter how you're going to utilize him. Terry Forster was the same way when he came up through the White Sox system. Both he and Goose Gossage came up through the White Sox system as starters, and they actually started their career in Chicago as starting pitchers. And of course, Goose became a Hall of Fame reliever. Bautista pops this one up. Shallow center field. Second baseman Ben Zobrist calls for it.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Bautista's retired. Now, Adam Lind, both Bautista and Lind have gone deep here tonight. For Bautista, his 38th. For Lind, his 23rd.
You know, I can count on one hand how many power left-handed relievers there are in baseball. So I think that's why I would be tempted to keep him in the bullpen. It's a valuable commodity to have.
Yeah, it sure is, especially if he can handle right-handers, and McGee's certainly capable of doing that.
We saw that firsthand in Atlanta when we saw Johnny Venters.
Yeah. But I'm thinking as a manager, I'd just soon like to see Jake McGee out there throwing 7-8 innings every 5th day. I mean, he's got a special arm, and, you know, he's got a perfect body for a starting pitcher. Big, broad shoulder, good foundation.
I was thinking more in terms of the Tampa Bay Rays, who have starting pitchers coming out of their ears. They've got so many starters. They've got more in the minor leagues coming.
Well, that's how they're able to contend. When you don't have the big bucks to pick up those big, powerful bats, you have to develop pitching. And they're good at it. Then strikes out. That's 2 down here in the 8th. McGee has retired all 3 batters he's faced.
This one's 96 miles an hour down and away with a little cutting action on it. It's free and easy out of his hand. You see that late break right over the outside corner.
Edwin Encarnacion. Let's continue this discussion just for one more batter. I think it's very difficult to find dominant starting pitching, and it's certainly expensive on the free agent market. That's popped up back near Tampa Bay's dugout and out of play. So I'll give you an example. CC Sabathia, Francisco Rodriguez were on the free agent market at the same time. K-Rod got $38 million with the Mets. CC got $168 million with the Yankees.
Well played, Martinez.
Man, I'm just thinking like a manager, man. I'd love to see this big horse out there every 5th day. And you know what? Have somebody knock on your door and say, listen, you got too many starters.
Yeah.
How about a catcher or something?
See if you can make the trade.
And anytime you look at it, and obviously you look on the free agent market this upcoming season, Jared Weaver just signed. He was going to be a free agent. James Shields, the club has 3 options on his contract. He could be a free agent at the end of this year. C.J. Wilson, Texas Rangers. He's got a chance to be a free agent. But there aren't many starting pitching options on the free agent market. So if I were Tampa Bay, I would let people know, well, you know, we might consider McGee as a starter. Maybe we would move a James Shields. That would get my attention.
And that would be a long line. We'd be ready to acquire him.
Encarnacion stays alive.
I guess it depends, you know, if you take it a step further with Jake McGee, his development of a breaking ball. For a starter, you need 6 innings, 3 times through the lineup, 7 innings, whatever you need. As a reliever, he can just rear back and throw it as hard as he can.
That's a valid point.
He needs to develop a little bit more of a breaking ball, I think, to be a starter.
Quite a battle going on here. And you're right, if McGee had that good hooker or hard slider right now, he'd probably use it. Downstairs. Full count. Encarnacion has worked McGee over. And takes a walk. What an at bat. Edwin Encarnacion fouled off pitch after pitch and earns a 2-out walk.
And that's going to earn a trip to the mound by Joe Madden. Walking very slowly. He has already signaled that he wants the reliever.
It'll be another left-hander to relieve the big left-hander. Cesar Ramos will take over for Jake McGee. All on sportsnet.ca. Left-hander taking over for the left-hander. Cesar Ramos had a couple of strikeouts in 2/3 of an inning in yesterday's game. He gave up a single to Brett Laurie and then struck out Jose Molina and Eric Thames. That ended the ball game. Kelly Johnson. Johnson's had a pair of hits and walked. Goes after the first pitch. Tampa Bay, after this game, will take off and head down to Arlington. They'll take on the Texas Rangers. Jeremy Hellickson will open up the series against Scott Feldman. Then Shields and Ogando, Neiman and Wilson. Texas maintaining a 3-game lead over the Angels.
They won yesterday, didn't they, Texas?
Yep, they won yesterday against the Angels. They won 9-5. Darren Oliver in relief picked up the win over Jared Weaver. They have an off day, so they are sitting down there in Arlington waiting for the arrival of Tampa Bay. Kelly Johnson, another base hit. Encarnacion will stop at second base. A 3-hit night for Kelly Johnson. He's been on base 4 times.
Good at bat against a left-hander. Ramos, keep that front shoulder in. They're trying to get you to leak out open just a little bit with a runner at first base. Take a shot at pulling that ball into right field. 3 knocks tonight.
Brett Laurie. He has a single. He's also walked. Laurie had a single against Ramos last night. Yesterday afternoon, excuse me. Ramos came into the game just to get some work. Ball on the strike. We are in the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays have a 7-3 lead. Brett Laurie has quickly made a name for himself here with the Blue Jays. Norrie is playing in his 23rd game.
You watch him from at bat to at bat, especially against a pitcher that he has faced before. You mentioned he faced Ramos yesterday, a little bit more relaxed now. Staying back, has an idea what he's going to try and do to him.
Borderline strike. 2-2. Two on, 2 outs. Breaking ball, line to left field. Jennings got a good read on it. It makes the catch just in front of the warning track. Fleury hit it hard, but we'll go to the 9th. Blue Jays lead 7-3. Frank Francisco will come on to try to close this thing out. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Connected, here's Brad Fay. Jays live from anywhere, online or on the go at RogersOnDemand.com.
You know, we talk so much about Brett Lawrie offensively, but defensively he's pretty good too. Here he starts a around the horn double play, 5-4-3 double play, just staying right with that hard smash by Rodriguez to help his starting pitcher, and he finishes it with a fist pump. He has shown some athleticism at third base in the short time that he has been here.
Kelly Johnson, a big night tonight in the field and at the plate. Johnson's been on base 4 times with 3 hits and a walk. Frank Francisco on to work the 9th. Casey Jansen with a 1-2-3 8th inning, a rarity for the Blue Jays in this series. Just the 5th 1-2-3 inning of the 4-game series.
Yeah, and that's Tampa. We're grinding, making you throw a lot of pitches. Working, getting on base, trying to get something started. They have done a good job of making the pitchers work.
Fans, test your knowledge and win additional Sharp prizes by visiting the new Hit a Home Run with Sharp Facebook page. A lot of great opportunities to win beautiful prizes from Sharp. Check it out on Facebook. John Jaso, the catcher. Fair ball. Lynn will go to the bag. 1 down in the 9th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Sean Rodriguez hits the first pitch strike. The Blue Jays just 2 wins in their last 9 games. Oakland, Kansas City, and now Tampa Bay. You look at that schedule early on, you say, okay, Oakland will probably do okay. Kansas City, yeah, we should be all right there. They're playing here at home, so we'll be all right. And then Tampa Bay, well, we'll battle. But it's been a struggle.
Thought Kansas City when they were red hot with the bats.
Bouncing ball. Big hop for Laurie. 2 down. Blue Jays will head out after the game, go down to Baltimore, take on the Orioles. It'll be a 3-game series. Brett Cecil, the native of Maryland, will start things off against Jeremy Guthrie. Henderson Alvarez against the right-hander Tommy Hunter, and Luis Perez against former Blue Jay Jojo Reyes, who's actually pitched okay for Baltimore.
He's done okay for him. Get an opportunity after it didn't work out here, after they picked him up.
You know what, Jojo did a pretty good job. He made 20 starts for the Blue Jays, and he certainly filled the void.
Orioles will get their first look at Henderson Alvarez.
And Luis Perez is a starter.
Yeah.
Orioles have been swinging the bats well. Adam Jones had missed a couple of games with a sore chest and a sore shoulder. He's returned to center field. Three 3-0. Frank Francisco has had a good month. Throwing the ball well all month long. There's a strike.
He hasn't allowed a run in his last 12 appearances. And 1 run over his last 15 games. Covering 15 1/3 innings. Throwing a good fastball. And using it a lot, too.
Took Francisco a while to get his velocity up and also the command. 3-2, 2 outs. This should do it. Laurie bounced it, but dug out by Adam Webb. Blue Jays win the final game of this 4-game series. Laurie says thanks for the pickup. Jose Bautista, home run number 38. Blue Jays can smile as they snap a 4-game losing streak. Blue Jays win it 7-3. 7 runs on 14 hits. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks for watching.